What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little bit something different going on. We're going to be doing a predictions video for the Royal Rumble coming up actually in a week. We're a week away from the Royal Rumble. As you can see, a little bit of gold on my shoulder, Sam.
Classic
Got a
gold.
little bit of gold on my shoulder.
Yeah, look at you, the spinner belt.
So, as you guys, if you guys know, in the podcast that we filmed the other day, I said that we are going to do a prediction type thing, and we're going to put the spinner belt that I have here on the line. So the way that we're going to do that is I actually got this idea from a wrestling channel called Stash Club Wrestling. They do this where they pass around their belt and do their predictions. So I'm stealing this idea from them. Thank you for the idea. But since this is the first predictions video, of course I'm gonna be crowned that champ, boy. I'm gonna be crowned that champ.
Of course.
From me.
Listen. We'll see what happens, especially with the Rumble. Because honestly, this year, for the first time in a while, I feel like it's gonna be unpredictable. Like, who knows? Like, I'm a little disappointed because there's no. Because you told me this morning there's no women's title matches.
No, there's not, which is surprising.
Yeah, so I was like,
the match card right now is like 4 matches, which, like, that's something I kind of wanted to bring up. I don't think that's a horrible thing because Backlash, for example, was like 5 matches, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, and it's just the Rumble, usually both Rumbles, men and women's, could go a little long, so I could see why they're like, all right, let's put, I think, what is it, last time they put the women's Rumble first?
I think so.
And then let the matches play out and then the men's Rumble. So
yeah, which is also another thing. Like, what are they going to do with this match lineup? Because Roman should be the main event, but the Rumble usually main events the Rumble.
Right.
So, like, what's going on? He can't go on first.
That's going to be
mid.
It's going to be the second to last match. Has to be before
the main event thing.
Like, right before the Rumble kicks off is that match. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some predictions for the Royal Rumble. I want to start off here with KO versus Logan because I want to end on the Rumble matches so we can talk about that a little bit more. But KO versus Logan, who you got?
I'm thinking Logan. Okay, honestly, just I feel like they might want to give him a run with the United States Championship and, like, with all the underhanded stuff he does, like what he did with Santos Escobar. Every time something happens in my life, I blame it on one man. But I think something's going to happen unless it's, they try to do that again and Sammy gets involved, like, to help his best friend. But I got Logan Paul because I think it could be a small feud that goes on towards what Mania is in
couple months.
Yeah, so like in March or April. So I think, it could span for a while. And besides, Logan Paul's not really there all the time.
Right.
So it could span.
Right. I that's valid. My prediction here is KO. I only think that he's going to win that title because Logan is not there too much. They moved KO to SmackDown, pushed him away from Sammy because Sammy's still on Raw. So, like, there's really not much for Kevin to do right now, and it would be great to see Kevin turn heel again, but heel with a title.
That would be... I think it's long overdue for him to turn heel. It's been a while since he's turned heel, and especially, like, you could do programs with him and Punk, him and anybody.
Yo, him and Punk would be so insane. Their ROH stuff was so good.
Exactly, and they had that little interaction. It was just, it was. That's like a tease. I'm like, all right, I can see that happening in the future.
All right, so you got Logan, I got KO. Next match I want to go over here, we'll talk about this a little bit in depth because I already brought up where this match is going to be placed. The Fatal 4-Way, Roman Reigns versus L.A. Knight, versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
Just RKO the screen.
RKO the camera. Now, I got a bold prediction here. Okay. I think Roman's coming out on top. All right. One's up, brother. One's up.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be Roman as well. Like,
It's gotta be.
it has to be. There's the only way Roman doesn't win this is if The Rock screws him over. But even so, it can't happen because it's like Cody and his story. But you know what I found fun? You know what I realized about Cody with the story? Don't we all remember that Paul Heyman said that at WrestleMania, if he loses, he'll never get to go for that title ever again?
I do remember that.
So
that's worrisome.
So technically, if Roman were to lose at the Rumble, it wouldn't be such a big, oh no, because Cody can't go after him.
Right.
It's more like, unless they do like the Shawn Michaels going after the Undertaker for the streak thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was talking to some people about this who are also going to the Rumble, and they kind of agree that they could just swerve us completely and Randy wins the title after like The Rock intervenes. Because Randy has history with Cody.
Yeah.
Legacy and all that stuff. But I genuinely think that it could happen, but I just don't see Triple H ending this historic reign
at the Rumble.
Like
listen,
at the Rumble.
The Rumble is like top 3 pay-per-views. Like, that's one of the pinnacle, like, pivotal pay-per-views. But we've seen titles change at the Rumble. Remember the Rumble where Triple H won
Yep.
One of my favorite ones, because everybody cheered when Roman got thrown out. But I don't know. I feel like Roman losing would be a Mania moment rather than a Rumble moment. But
yeah, and like there is talks of him like beating Hogan's streak, which I personally do not want. I love Roman Reigns. Big fan of Roman Reigns. Don't want him to go another year and some odd months.
Right. Like, I like Roman as well, but since I grew up with Hulk Hogan, I don't know. I don't want to see him go with the title for another year, and it's like, all right, we see him when we see him. Like that.
It's like, for me, I don't care about the Hogan thing. I don't want the title being held hostage.
Like when
for another
Brock was around.
Right.
Like that.
I'm just not feeling another year of this title run, because I don't know where else they could go with this bloodline story at this point.
It's downhilling. I felt the fatigue of the bloodline story right after the match between Roman and Jay. Like, I was like, all right, I guess we keep going with the bloodline, but knowing how the matches work out when bloodline are around, we will have Jimmy Uso interfere, because it's no DQ.
Right.
So we'll have Jimmy Uso interfere, and then, the big man with the hoodie, Solo Auditori da Firenze Sikoa, will spike people.
Which, speaking of Mr. Spike, I think he's spiking Roman.
Really?
I think he's turning on Roman at the Rumble. They've been showing these little like things on Raw, SmackDown, where Solo's like side-eyeing Roman after he like tells him stuff. I think he's turning on Roman really soon, and if Solo turns on Roman,
then Roman's defenseless.
That's it. Cody's story's finished.
Right. Finally, like, oh my God, last year. Oh, that was
the air that got sucked out of the room.
The air, the oxygen that left my house when that happened. I was like, get out. But I think my prediction's Roman, but honestly, I could also say it's Orton. Like, one of the two are coming out of there.
Yeah, I don't think Randy's taking a pin if he loses.
It's either going to be Styles or...
I think Knight's probably going to take the pin, if anyone.
Yeah.
If not, then it'll be another, like, Roman's going to stack all 3 of them on top of each other.
I think that only worked, honestly, that...
with Edge and Bryan.
That's the only time I feel it worked, because, like, it was like... That was that actually Daniel Bryan's last match at WrestleMania?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah, that was his last match, and then Edge was he still had his run there, but like that was Daniel Bryan's that was a cool moment.
That was, yeah.
That was a great match, actually.
Yeah.
That was one of...
That version of Daniel Bryan, very underrated.
Yes.
Very underrated.
And I don't know what's happening over there at AEW, but...
I don't know. That's a whole nother story.
It is.
All right. What do we want to go next? We want to go with men's or women's?
We'll do women's first.
Women's? All right, we'll go with women's. You go ahead. Well, who's your prediction for the...
So I got two.
Okay.
It's either going to be Becky, even though she's won the Rumble, the Women's Rumble beforehand, right?
Yes.
So it's either going to be Becky or... Shot in the dark here. Bayley.
I like that guess. Why Becky, though?
So with Becky, I don't know. Maybe it's that typical one. I'm like, all right, and maybe Becky, but my most other Bayley would be the, like, you know, my girl with the yams, Bayley. Like, I love her. I love her to death. If she wins it, that whole storyline with EO and stuff would be interesting.
Yeah. That's why she's my prediction, like, to win.
That would be interesting, because I could see them putting Kyrie and Asuka in the Rumble as well. And at one point, it could be accidental or something, but she eliminates both of them at the same time.
Which I believe this coming Monday, the Kabuki Warriors are going up against Kaden, whatever her name is, and Katana Chance, Kaden Carter.
Yeah.
And they're going for the women's tag team titles. I think they're putting those titles on the Kabuki Warriors.
Because now...
Then Damage Control has all the gold.
Yeah.
Bayley's left without.
Because they've been doing, like, she's the odd woman out in this group the whole time since the Kabuki Warriors reformed, since Kyrie came back. Like, she's, like, the odd person out. Like, even with Dakota in the mix, it's like she's the odd person out. So that would be a good win for her if it's just, like, she's the one that comes out victorious. Like, that would be a good story right there.
I think they were setting something up with Becky and Rhea as well, which I wouldn't be upset with that match, but I'd like to see Rhea go for, like, Jade or something if she debuts in the Rumble.
Right.
Or just, like, a bigger opponent than Becky would be.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, my prediction is Bayley, just for the pure fact of the Io Sky storyline right there. My runner-up is a big shot in the dark. Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné. I think, now listen, hear me out. I know every fucking week she's showing up somewhere different. She's showing up at Dynamite on Wednesday. She's showing up at Collision on Saturday. She's showing up at Hard to Kill.
Let me tell you something about Mercedes Moné. It's hilarious. These AEW shills, they're shills. That they think every show Mercedes Moné is supposed to appear. That's what they think. That's what they believe. But it's not happening. And if it does happen, well then good for you. But if it doesn't happen, leave it alone. Like,
let me explain something real quick. Mercedes Moné going to AEW would not bring them any more star power.
You see their houses. Like, I love Edge to death, but look what's been happening.
They can't do anything with people that have this A+ star power. They all just shit the bed.
But hey, Judas, right?
Right. Of course. Chris Jericho's still on the show every week. Main eventing.
And you know what the best thing is? The last time he came out brawling, it was funny how they kept the music going the whole time.
Yeah, to drown out
and
the blues.
Ricky Starks legit took one punch from him and rolled out. He was like, It's just...
Chris Jericho, you're a piece of shit.
All right, listen. I was like, I don't know. That's, again, I give it... I don't want to be that person to predict the fall of a company, because we all want things to like succeed and stuff. But if they don't turn around their stuff by the end of this year or next year, gonna see Triple H. I've finally done it. I finally own AEW.
And that's the thing, bro. With the Okada stuff going on, Okada's always wanted to go to WrestleMania. Triple H can pay him that money.
Yeah. Tony Khan cannot.
And if WWE gets Okada and then forms a relationship with New Japan,
imagine the WWE x New Japan stuff. Ooh.
That's it for AEW at that point. I'm sorry. I love it. I really do like
Yeah, that's the thing. And some people will be like, oh, they don't like... Yeah, we do. But it's just like... I do. Certain things, man. I'm just like...
You got to run a company a certain way, and Tony Khan.
Right. Tony Khan is, like Jim Cornette says, is a fantasy booker playing booker. Like, he's the guy that had his action figures in the past and is just still doing it till this day. Yeah. But... Again, I think Bayley's going to be the one.
I think Bayley will be the one as well. Moving on to the men's Royal Rumble match.
Unless...
What?
unless the winner is Charlotte again.
Oh, please. She's out on injury. She ain't coming back for the Rumble. She just got surgery.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I was like, oh, like, yo, a bunch of people are out. Weird. Austin Theory's out. Like, Seth's out. Yo.
Which we're going to talk about when we predict the Rumble.
Also, later. Shout out to Grayson Waller for defending wrestling on television.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was...
No, that looked legit. But... Like... That was, we live in 2024 and people on things still want to say, oh, it's fake. And it's all that. It's like, bro, but he was ready. He was ready. I was like, all right. And LA Knight looks so uncomfortable. He was just like, every time they said something, he was like, what? Like,
yeah, he looked just weirded out by that whole situation there.
But let's get into it. So
let's predict that Rumble.
I'll let you go first.
All right. Let's see who we have here. I have winning the men's Royal Rumble, of course, the voice of the voiceless, the leader of the straight edge society, Philip CM Punk Brooks, Chick Magnet Punk,
Terrence and Phillip,
Terrence and Tom and Nick Mysterio.
Yeah. Oh my God. I finally got that, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me." But
yes, Punk is my winner for the men's Royal Rumble. My runner-up is going to be Gunther. And after you say yours, I'll...
So, I dropped something. So, my picks right off the bat. Punk, of course. I think it has to be. Unless they do that storyline with him and Drew, which brings up to my... I have like 3 or 4. So, Punk. Drew would be a interesting one if he eliminates Punk last. Like, that would be one. I'm like iffy on this one because I don't think it's going to happen because I think they're going to pull the Shawn Michaels thing where he gets eliminated and he's like, Cody goes on a rampage. Then the last one, which I hope it doesn't happen because it will have the Batista effect. If you smell what Barack is cooking,
I'll tell you, it ain't anything
I feel like if he wins, there's gonna have that Batista moment where everyone boos him out the building, and even like I remember listening to interviews, like even Batista was like, "Why am I not heel? Like, why wasn't I eliminated? Like, I don't want to win. Like,
I've heard like audio from that match where he's like, "This sucks. I want to go home."
Right. I mean, Batista also works better as a heel, like especially nowadays.
That's
yeah. So
absolutely.
It was just like that's gonna have that kind of emotion. The only way that could be salvaged is if Rock becomes Hollywood Rock again. He just turns heel on the people, which again we haven't seen Rock turn heel in like since that time, that era. So that would be interesting. Like, comes back to ruin another franchise in Hollywood. God, G.I. Joe, everything just killed. But that would be my last one. Would be The Rock, but anything is in the air now with Seth being out.
It really is. It really is, because Seth not being able to participate in Elimination Chamber anymore, which is where we thought Punk was going to win that championship.
I think he's still going to win it, but it's going to be against Priest.
I do too, because I think on Monday when Seth comes out to address all of his stuff, he's probably going to. Well,
it's the same thing with Becky when Becky was taking the time off because she was pregnant and she gave Asuka the championship.
Yeah,
but it's going to happen where Damian comes out and cashes in on the. Now Seth Backshot Rollins is actually going to have to sell an injury. I almost thought Jinder was going to win it.
Oh my God, dude! They had.
Ew! I was like, "Don't hinder, mother freaking Jinder." I was like, bro, if he would have hit the Colossus and pinned the 3, I would have disintegrated. I would have enjoyed. I would have been like, yeah.
I would have had to delete X off of my phone because I couldn't have gone through what that platform.
That platform would have shut down for 2 days.
Dude, all of the AEW marks would have lost.
Oh, they would have lost their shit because they already lost their shit when he tweeted, "Who the hell is Hook?" I was like, bro.
Okay, we're gonna go off track for 1 second. Speaking of Hook, the Hook signal is the single corniest shit I've ever seen in wrestling, ever. Why the fuck why is he Batman?
Also, shout out to Hook, because the way he hit that announce table, I was like,
he's dead.
Ryan, if we ever wrestle and we have a feud, if you throw me into an announce table like that, the camera will see me just look up at you with 2 red eyes, just staring at you. I was like, we'll be talking in the back once we get out of this match.
But yeah, the Rumble the reason why I put Punk and not Cody or something like that, I genuinely I agree with you and when the Cody thing, how he's gonna go on a rampage, and I think it's because he's going to come in at number 1 or 2, and he's gonna get thrown out at 5 to 10.
Really?
He's getting thrown out early.
That would be interesting.
And then that's going to piss him off because he's like, I did it last year.
And I think, he will, because I think the one person that'll screw him over is Shinsuke. Is going to screw him over. Or Shinsuke's going to get eliminated. Cody is at one point going to be on the outside. And as he's about to come in, Shinsuke's going to come back and pull him off. Or screw him over so he falls.
Something.
And then he's just going to lose it. Because Shinsuke Nakamura is going to do it.
I mean, I just don't. It's not a good idea for Cody to win the Rumble this year. He needs to win the Chamber. That's his way back to Roman. And I also think with the Rock thing, I don't think he's going to come back in the Rumble. I think he's going to come back during the Roman match. Now, hear me out. This might be a long shot. This past SmackDown, they had that contract signing. Roman, at the beginning of the show, did not want to sign that contract. Why? Because it's a fatal 4-way, right? He doesn't think he can win a fatal 4-way. Why would he think that? He wants a one-on-one match. He's a tribal chief, you know? End of the show comes around. Everybody's getting laid out. Randy's RKOing everybody. Roman comes out. Superman punches Randy. Signs the contract. Now, why would Roman sign that contract if in the beginning of the show he thought he couldn't take out everybody? That's because he's got a Dwayne.
Okay.
In his back.
I
think Dwayne's coming back, and he's helping the tribal chief. That's how Roman's going to win that match. It's bold. It's bold.
I like it too, because hey, if The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania,
Mhm.
Who's the one legend killer that hasn't taken out a legend yet?
Hmm.
Who's the one legend? Who's the one legend?
Who
I'll
is it,
tell you.
Sam? Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you. It's The Rock. Randy Dwayne
Dwayne-athan.
Johnston has not been taken out by Randy Orton.
No, he hasn't.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Because I know for a fact we're going to get Solo and Jimmy coming out to help. I think maybe The Rock comes out, lays them out as, the thing. So this would be, if he comes out as a face, lays out Jimmy, lays out, whatever. Solo, Aditori da Forenzi, Sokoa, if he wears the hoodie. And then either he has a stare down with Roman.
That's what I was going to say.
Like a stare down.
Yeah.
Randy maybe shoves him out of the way to get to Roman. And then, either Roman gets hit with the RKO or Roman gets hit with something. Randy turns around. Rock bottoms him because he thinks he just shoved him out of the way out of disrespect. And Rock bottoms him and then leaves Randy there for Roman to pin. So it's not really saving Roman, but it's like more like what he did with Cena back in remember when Cena and The Miz in WrestleMania?
Right.
This exact scenario.
Right, yeah.
When he came out and attacked John Cena and let The Miz win, it's probably going to be the same thing with Roman and this Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to say too, is that he comes out as the face, he takes out Solo and Jimmy. They face off in the ring. We get that stare down that everyone wants, Roman and The Rock. Get that pop. Randy comes over, tries to RKO Roman. Roman drops him. Then Styles or Knight or something like that comes in. Rock bottom. Because, like I said, Randy's not taking that pin as much as people want him to. He's not taking that pin. He rock bottoms LA Knight or AJ Styles. Roman gets to pin that.
I see that happening. But let's do a fun prediction here for when it comes to this match. Is AJ Styles going to have gear by the time this match comes?
Oh my God. My man is wrestling in skinny jeans.
I can't complain because I'm about to wrestle in dress pants, but I'm sitting here going... I almost fought my own foot. I'm like, will he have gear by then? Yes or no? And I'm going with probably, because it's usually the pay-per-views where people start getting their gear. This match is gonna be a very interesting one. But let's do something fun too when it comes to the both Rumble matches. Start with the women's one. Surprises. Who do you think's coming?
Okay. I have a video coming out on my personal channel if you guys want to check that out with surprise entrance, but we will go over it here because I think that would be fun as well.
You don't even have to give me all of them because if you're going to save it for that.
No. So the men's, I think a good chance is probably
Brock.
I have a couple written. Brock for sure is coming back. I think there is a good chance Andrade is going to end up being in there.
Oh yeah, Andrade's not with AEW no more. He's out.
He's not.
The poor man finally broke free. This man.
I also have Matt Cardona on there, even though he's been kind of like tossed around a few times.
Well, it would be interesting in this one because it's like Vince ain't there no more, and Chelsea's back again, and he's been interacting a lot when it comes to like Chelsea and all that stuff on social media. And it's like, I haven't heard anything with him in the indie scene as of late. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I think I'll toss one more out for the men's. This one's kind of just out of left field. Biggie.
I mean, if he's clear.
If he comes back.
Unless he comes back with, unless we get him with, because if Gunther shows up at the Rumble with Kaiser, because Kaiser, I think he'll be in the match, and then we get Kofi come back, we get Woods come back, And now, wouldn't it be cool? Even if he can't get in the ring, he comes and brings them out. That would be cool. Brock, let's see if he comes out with shorts or those Triple H like cut tights from back in the day, because that man's shorts exploded on some. I was like,
I know.
When did this happen? Like, we were just like, is this short? His shorts are they exploded. His shorts are just gone. So like, that would be interesting with Brock and what he would do.
Mm-hmm. I think he'd probably start something with Gunther.
Everybody's been saying that, because so I think that would be interesting. He would probably come back as a face too. So that would be one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only one for the women's that I would say was like Mickie James and AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would add another one onto there, being Trinity, or Naomi.
Would she?
She just lost her title at Hard to Kill, and she just, from what it seems like, last night in Orlando they had a show. It seems like she bid farewell to TNA. So I think she's probably coming
honestly,
back.
Papa H, like, now that Vince is finally gone, like, he doesn't have any control. He's gone. Goodbye. He has control, and like, all these people love him because he knows what he's doing. Just look what NXT when he was in charge of NXT. Right.
The best days of NXT
and then
were run
Vince
by
was
Triple
like,
H.
we need 2.0. But it's gonna be exciting.
This is definitely one of the very few unpredictable Royal Rumbles we've had.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be fun. We'll have a video coming out at the actual event sometime after we go. But those are our predictions for the Royal Rumble. We'll keep points and we'll keep track. If there's any matches added later, those predictions will be in the Royal Rumble event video. So we can add on to that. And then we'll do the results in person so we can...
we'll be doing those results at a local Waffle House.
A local Waffle... And we'll have
the
a
Waffle
House
match. No, I wouldn't want to mess with anybody at Waffle House. Those Waffle House employees, nah. John Wick couldn't beat those Waffle House employees. Like, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun pay-per-view. It's gonna be good.
Really good. So be prepared for that video. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. We will be back super soon. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye.